Thank you, Chair. Chair, merong PowerPoint lang para makatulong sa pagtatanong. Ready na po ba?
Secretariat, pwede bang paki-play yung kay Tonchi Tino? Go ahead.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, alam natin, global ang crisis at nagtaas ang presyo ng gasolina, diesel, etc. sa buong mundo. Pero ang dapat po malaman ng mga kababayan natin ay ang pagtaas sa Pilipinas ay kabilang sa pinakamalaki na pagtaas sa buong daigdig. Top 2 pinakamahal na gas sa buong mundo in terms of rate of increase, no, 71.6, and top 3 na pinakamahal sa buong mundo o pinakamalaking pagtaas in terms of diesel sa buong mundo po, no. Next slide. So, ito visualization. This is cited by an international news agency. So, vetted naman po yung information. Pinakamataas po sa gasolina, yung rate ng increase in the past month, no, during this crisis. Myanmar, tapos 100% ang increase. Ang Pilipinas ay more than 70, something like 77%. Next slide. So, ayan po, no, so among the countries, gasoline prices, 71.6% ang tinaas mula Pebrero 23 in a 1-month period sa panahon ng krisis. At ganun din sa diesel, kung makita yung next slide. 111% ang rate of increase mula February 23. Pwede po bang, sa buong mundo po to, again, no? So pwede po bang ma-explain sa mamamayan ng DOE, bakit ganun? No? Bakit sa dinami-dami ng mga bansa sa buong daigdig na apektado nito, pinakamataas yung sa Pilipinas o kasama sa pinakamataas yung pagtaas. Bakit po ganun?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Secretary
Yes,
Sharon,
Mr.
please.
Chair. Actually, we are the highest in the percentage of increase, but we are not the highest in price.
I said that.
We're actually one of the in the middle sa price compared to the rest of the world. We are just the most vulnerable in terms of like what's happening now. Yung response niya, tayo yung pinakamataas na akyat. I'll explain na lang, Mr. Chair, how do companies derive their prices. No? About 94% of that price is on the cost of goods. Which means not only how much the barrel is, the premium, ang premium po dati $5 yan, ngayon naging $60. Freight and insurance are way much higher. So nag-increase na po lahat niya yan. And that composes, and all the transport and everything else, it's 94%. Our taxes, depends kasi sa presyo ng cost of goods, but there's excise tax of 6 pesos is on diesel and VAT effective around 11% of that. No? So that's 94% yung landed cost niya, tapos add mo yung VAT, and then you have to add the cost ng biofuel, which is about 3%. Tapos yun po yung natitira yung kita nila. There are varying reports on how much they earn from this, Mr. Chair. It can go from, this time, it could go from negative up to 10%, Mr. Chair. Yun yung structure niya. And we have confirmed this actually, Mr. Chair, when PNOC started buying. And true enough, lahat po to na presyo ng cost of goods are confirmed kasi yun din yung binabayaran ng PNOC. So, why are we highest in responding? I think it's our oil structure also of our industry. Kasi fully liberalized siya eh. And we don't have any buffers. We tax it. We don't have any buffers as into price control. Wala na tayong oil stabilization fund, unlike the other countries that are less vulnerable. Meron silang subsidy on their pump price, and they have their own source of oil, and also they have their own bigger refineries. We only have one as of today, sir. Only 30% yan galing sa refinery. So the structure of our oil industry is really very vulnerable to such events like this, Mr. Chair.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. Nabanggit nyo yung liberalized, pero hindi nyo nabanggit yung salita, deregulated. Tama po. So, essentially, yan ang ibig sabihin ng deregulation. Nasabi nyo rin, yung ibang mga bansa kasi, may protection sa consumer. Sabi, may mga subsidies kahit papano. Sa atin, wala. Diretsong pinapasa sa consumer yung pagtaas. Kaya po, kasama tayo sa pinakamabilis na tumaas. Okay. Yun po ang nakikita natin ngayon. Ito ang ibig sabihin ng deregulation. Ngayon, ang concern po natin ay, at ito na yung pagtingin ng marami, yung usapin ng overpricing. Again, doon sa slide po, ang DOE po naglalabas ng parang 3 times a month yung inyong oil monitor. Di po ba? At doon, nandun yung global price, tapos meron kayong domestic prices for gasoline, diesel, kerosene, may isa pa.
Kerosene.
LPG. Okay. Actually, I think it's just 3. At tinignan namin po yung over a 6-month period yung inyong oil monitor. Pero napansin namin, for the month of February, isa lang ang nilabas nyo. So wala po yung 2 weeks, yung crucial 2 weeks leading up to the war. Bakit po ganon? So baka pwedeng ilabas nyo. Ba't nga po ba hindi kayo naglabas?
Mr. Chair, every week we actually do advisory. Baka walang changes at that time. I have to check that,
Okay.
Mr. Chair. But it's a regular activity we have every week.
Yun nga, missing po ng dalawa. Tinignan po namin yung past 6 months. So 18 reports po yon, kulang ng 2. Anyway, sa slide po. So ang exercise lang dito, yung world prices na binanggit nyo, tapos tinrack natin against yung domestic prices. Ano po ang findings natin? Kung pwede po makita yung slide. Pero kung hindi, essentially, ganito po ang nakita natin.
Ilabas natin yung slide. Hinto nyo muna yung oras ni
Thank you po.
Congressman Tino.
Ayan, okay.
Ayan, sige.
Sige. So, essentially, gano'n, no? Kinumpare natin yung batay sa mga datos nyo. Meron pang slides dyan Pwede bang makita? Yan muna. Okay. So, yung pula, yung blue, yun po yung world price. Adjusted yan, no? Para maging comparable sila. And then yung pula, yun po yung domestic price. So, ideally, dapat sumusunod yung pula sa blue. No? Pero nakita natin consistently, mas mataas yung pula kaysa sa blue. Tapos, especially during the panahon ng gera, nakita natin na kahit bumaba yung presyo ng gasolina, ay nanatiling mataas yung presyo ng domestic. Okay, so this is for gasoline. Sorry, this is for diesel. We did that also for gasoline and kerosene. Yun yung available na data provided by the DOE. Anyway, so ang conclusion natin from this, over 18 reports, 6 months, ay meron talagang overpricing. Kahit even before the crisis, meron ng lagpas na pag-charge. No? Average of 1.34 pesos per liter for gasoline, 1 pesos 90 centavos per liter diesel, and 1.79 for kerosene. No? At may mga minsan may mga spikes yan malalaki. No? But anyway, so yun ang punto natin. Consistently overpriced po compared to the world market price. No? Kaya nga sabi ng Ibon, meron silang sabi 46.5 billion daw ang windfall profit ng oil companies for the month of March. No? Ano pong ginagawa ng gobyerno rito?
Pwede ba nating sagutin yon para makapagtanong
Yes, sir.
ka pa dun sa iba? Can you address that? I
Yes.
think it's a very valid
Yes, Mr. Chair.
question.
So, before, bibili ka ng, we base it on the international price, no? Tapos, babayad ka ng premium, insurance, transportation. Premium used to be about $5 per barrel. Insurance, the normal insurance, transportation. So, ngayon po, pag nakita nyo po, dapat ganun yung trend, no? It stays steady at $5, premium, insurance, ano, kasi, kaya sumusunod siya on the first part of the table, of the graph of Congressman Tino. Now ngayon, umiba siya. Became erratic. Umaakyat yung presyo ng per barrel, pero yung premium, times 10 na siya. About $50 to $60 per barrel. So, hindi na reflective yung per barrel price ng crude oil or yung maps natin. Ang mga additional cost, umakyat din. Nakita rin namin to sa PNOC order. Ang insurance ng freight umakyat din. So, umakyat lahat ng mga collaterals niya plus the barrel itself. So, hindi lang yung barrel umakyat, kundi pati yung premium.
Anong paliwanag doon? Ba't tumataas ang premium? Insurance, malinaw yun kasi mas tumataas yung cost, di ba? So nakapeg naman yun doon, naka-index doon. Pero bakit tumataas ang premium? Is it the volatility? Is it the excess demand, lack of supply?
Basically, the ones who want oil are price takers, Mr. Chair. Pinag-aagawan siya, especially from the start. Nobody wanted to sell. And if you're willing to buy at a premium, then you can buy. But if you're not, then you cannot buy. So we are at the mercy of the traders, no, or the international trading nila. Kaya ganun po, nagpeg sila 50 to 60. And why did we not have supply at the start? Or there was a scary moment at that time. Kasi po ayaw magbayad sana ng ating mga oil companies ng premium because they thought na hindi papayagan ng gobyerno. And then that's why PNOC had to get in and pay the premium for their orders.
Congressman Tino, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let me just note, it's okay, ang explanation daw premium, pero let me just point out na even before the crisis, up to previous 6 months, no, ay mas mataas pa rin consistently. So ang sinasabi natin, may overpricing pa rin compared dun sa movement nung global price o world price. Okay. And ngayon,
Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang i-address ni Secretary Garin yung tanong ni Congressman Tino. Do you agree with Congressman Tino na may overpricing?
No, Mr. Chair.
no. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Congressman
okay.
Tino.
O malinaw po 'yon. Tingin ng DOE walang overpricing, sinasabi natin meron. Let me just point out
wrap up.
yung
Go
sa
ahead.
pinang unbundling, Mr. Chair, the DOE publishes on its website merong parang breakdown no ng mga prices. So the breakdown consists of common price per liter, import cost, taxes, biofuel, and industry take. So yung industry take consists of port charges, refining cost, storage cost, handling cost, marketing cost, transshipment cost, other costs, and oil company profit margin. No? Pero hindi din i-disclose ito ng DOE. Ang sinasite nila ay trade secrets, no? Confidential information. However, sabi ng Supreme Court in a decision on this, sabi niya that it is clear that it recognizes that there are certain pieces of information to be collected from the oil companies that are confidential in character, which the DOE is not permitted to share to unauthorized third persons or the public, but it is only when there are portions thereof that are matters of public interest is the DOE Secretary allowed under Republic Act number 8479 to make such known to the public. So, kinikilala po ng jurisprudence na may mga pagkakataon na pwedeng i-share sa publiko ang mga impormasyon na ito in the name of public interest. Sabi pa nga rito, after all, the law for the deregulation of the downstream oil industry was not created to protect these oil companies. No, it is for the sake and benefit of the public. So ang point po, hindi po ba ngayon ay pwedeng tungtungan na ito ng DOE para ibahagi sa publiko yung mga banggit natin na breakdown ng so-called industry take, which ranges from 21% for diesel up to 29% for gasoline. No? So napakalaki po ng industry take na yon. No? So,
May,
yun po,
may we
Mr.
hear
Chair.
the position of
Yes,
the
Yung-
Secretary?
in other words, ang tinutulak po natin ay ilabas,
Transparency.
ilahad sa
Oo.
publiko yung pricing, lalo na sa panahon ngayon.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we actually have also more knowledge now of the prices because of PNOC's purchases. And our estimate is about 2 to 10% ang industry intake. But having said that, though, yes, there was a ruling and we were stopped in from the unbundling. And because of the EO, we have issued an order to the companies to submit the unbundled prices already, Mr. Chair. We're waiting for the consolidation.
So
of that.
tama ba ang reading ko sa sagot ninyo relative dun sa question ni Congressman Tino is that the Secretary of the Department of Energy is moving towards the full disclosure of items that need to be made transparent to the public?
We have asked them for the info and unbundling, Mr. Chair, na. Just to qualify that, what is going to be public and not public, that will depend on the provisions of the law, Mr. Chair. But the trigger of this power was the issuance of the EO of the President, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, malinaw na sa jurisprudence na sinasabi, yes, confidential yan, pero pwedeng i-disclose ng Secretary for public interest. And very clearly, ngayong panahon na national energy emergency, kailangan makita po ng publiko. Ano po yung sinisingil, no? So, hindi po, ang sinasabi lang ng Secretary, hiningi nila yung information. Wala silang sinasabi na i-disclose nila sa publiko. So, I think yung committee po ay kailangan pong pumosisyon na meron naman pong legal basis para i-disclose ito ngayon. Para malaman po kung ano pa talaga yung usapin ng overpricing, no?
The point is well taken. We will await the action on the part of the Secretary of Energy. I think that's a very important point raised by the Honorable Tino. Maraming salamat. May we